Boo! I've always wanted to do that. You'll notice I'm looking a lot more dramatic today. That's because I have a brand new light. How good does this lighting look? Here it is, my new light. I will have to take a few steps back. This is the Aperture 120D2, and it's giving my front room some much needed light. I shoot my YouTube videos in the front room of my apartment. It has no natural light at all, no windows, nothing. I've been using this small little aperture light for my videos until now, but this, it's like I've brought the sun here into the room with me. It looks like a legit window light, doesn't it? So today I thought I could make something a little different. I know a lot of you guys are video content creators, and it's pretty likely you're making videos with the intention of uploading them to YouTube. This is where Mr. Ben comes in. He's been around the block once or twice before. So I am currently at 47,453 subscribers at the time of making this. And it took me a long time to get to this point. I think this is my 161st video. And it wasn't overnight. This happened gradually over the past 2 years. And there are so many things I learned on my YouTube journey that I know you guys could benefit from. Little things that will save you so much time and effort and frustration and just, why isn't my channel growing? So I'm gonna give you the shortcuts. Here are 10 things I wish I knew before I started on YouTube. The first thing is production value doesn't matter. You don't need to be shooting on a fancy camera like the one I'm using. You don't need this massive light. You don't need a cool background. You don't need any of it. Hang on, Mr. Ben, weren't you just bragging about that massive light you just bought? Look, yes, having a high production value is nice, but it comes second. The actual content of the video is the most important thing. All this stuff doesn't matter if the content isn't good. I could have the highest production value like I have now, and if my video is like, hello, I am going to teach you today 3 ways to plant tomatoes. And they are really long ways, and there are probably better ways, but these are ways that you can... No, that's boring. It's bad content, and no matter how pretty it looks, it's not going to be a good video. If the content is actually good, it doesn't matter if you shoot on your phone and you're shooting in a terrible location, like... This is Mr. Ben coming at you from the John, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to make $3 million. Count them, 3 in 5 minutes. Let's go. The second video is going to be a way better video because there's actually value there. It's a good video, and it's not just a pretty video. Once you have your good content in place, this is when you add the production value as an extra thing that will take your video to the next level. 2 is give value. Everything you put out online on the internet should give value somehow. You need to either educate, entertain, or inspire your audience. This is giving value. Think about the videos you watch personally. Would you watch them if you didn't get anything out of them? If it was just a complete waste of your time, would you keep watching them? There's got to be something there. It's got to be worth your audience's time. So giving value should be your #1 priority. Even if you don't feel comfortable educating or inspiring people, you can at least entertain them with exceptional video quality, with story, with characters, with something that justifies them spending their precious time watching your video. Even if it's like, hey, I'm Ben, I have a bowling ball and I'm going to throw it through this wall here. What happens next will shock you. That's entertaining, is it not? So give value. Channels that give value grow quickly. 3, while production value isn't important, sound is, and a video made with bad sound can be enough to send your audience clicking away within the first 2 seconds. Bad sound is too much of a discomfort for your audience, whereas bad visuals aren't, unless the camera's shaky or your video is nauseating in another way. But having good, clean sound is more important. If you think about it, the experience of you watching me now, it's 2 things. It's 50% video and 50% audio. So it's important you treat them like that when you make your videos. No matter if it's vocals coming from you, if it's music, it all needs to be well balanced, very low background noise. It just needs to be a pleasurable experience. Right now I use a lapel mic, and this is attached to a sound recorder in my pocket. This has been the best setup that I've found. I'll put a link to my sound setup down in the description. But when I'm using this, I know I'm going to get perfect audio every time, unless the recorder cuts out. Always check battery and memory cards. Oh, seriously, I've messed up the sound in so many of my videos. It's embarrassing. I've been making videos for like 10 years and I still make epic sound blunders. So it's something you need to be really careful with, and make sure the sound is good, not even at the end of your shoot, but check several times throughout that your recorder is still rolling, that your waveforms still look okay. Yep, looks good to me. Because bad sound is enough to kill your video. Take it from me and 360 Rumors. I'm sorry, bro, I had to say it. The fourth thing I learned about YouTube is don't use logo animations. Again, your audience's time is valuable, and adding a logo animation adds nothing to your video. Showing the actual content of your video does better for your brand awareness than showing your logo or your name or whatever. It's better you just get into it and give people value that way instead of forcing them to watch your 10 or 15-second logo animation, because I can guarantee you not one single person enjoys watching it. It just makes your videos look kind of corporate-y. 5, titles and thumbnails matter more than the actual video, because for someone to actually watch your video, they have to be enticed enough to watch it to begin with, and they're not going to be if your title is bad, if your thumbnail is bad, if it's not the best it can be. You're getting maybe 10% or less of the potential audience that could view the exact same video. I know there have been split tests about this where it was the exact same video uploaded to 2 accounts, one with a good title and thumbnail, one with a very average or below average one, and the good one got 57 times more views. So every time I make a video, it might take an hour or 2 to film it, probably a few hours at least to edit it, but then I will spend hours on my title, on my thumbnail. I'll always write at least 10 different titles for each video, and I'll slowly whittle it down to that one perfect title that even I would click. And I'm super picky on YouTube. I will click on 1 in 100 videos, even in my own subscription feed. And then the thumbnail as well. I'll usually spend an hour or 2 getting the image just right, because it doesn't matter how good your video is, if you don't get your audience excited about it, they're not gonna watch it. 6 is have a clear theme to your channel. You've got to be known as something, as the something guy, the something girl, not the person that posts 100 different random videos about random topics. Firstly, you need to choose your wider niche, and then you need to find a niche within that wider niche that is your own distinct flavor. The more your channel finds its niche, the faster it will grow. Now, it's also important that you're not too niche. You can't be a niche of a niche of a niche, but you should be a niche of a niche. For example, maybe you go out fishing and film all your catches in 360 and upload them to YouTube. That's a good niche. Where it would be too niche is if it were 360 and you're going out fishing, and while you're fishing, you're talking about politics. So that's 3 things that is just becoming too much. The odds of finding an audience that like all 3 things are going to be really small. Whereas if you just stick with the second one, the niche of the niche, that's where you'll find a good amount of die-hard fans that have those 2 bigger things in common. So for my niche, I'd say the overall bigger niche is photography and video, and my niche is 360 and now a bit of 3D. That's a good size because there's still a lot of people in this niche. You don't want to narrow it too much. Likewise, on the other end of the spectrum, if you start with photography and video and this is just one thing of like 100 things you do in an even bigger niche, if you're starting from nothing, it's going to take you so long to grow a channel because people don't know what to expect from you. When people can predict you and they like what you do, they will want to follow you. 7, make sure people know your name. What's my name? Do 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 do. If you answered Ben Claremont, you are correct because it's right there. Having people know your name is very important because it makes them feel like you're their friend. That's just the basic element of being a human, and there are so many channels out there where people either post videos and never ever mention their name, or they operate under a company name or something else and the audience never knows what their actual name is. It's like if I said to you, hey, Johnny, Fred, Stephen, Al, Phil, and that's actually your name, you're like, oh my God, Ben knows my name. You've also got to give your audience a chance to know your name. Like I've discussed before, one of the best strategies in social media is humanizing yourself. And the most basic thing that humans have is a name. So even if you decide to name your channel something else, at least put a name card in every single video. Number 8 is be authentic and don't be a presenter. I know I'm definitely guilty of this, and this is something I'm still working so hard on, just being myself. Be yourself on camera. It sounds easier, right? Be yourself, yeah. But then when you press the record button, you start trembling and you're like, oh, hi, this is Ben, and... Or on the flip side, you're too confident and you speak like you're a presenter. Hi, this is Ben Claremont, and in today's video, I'm going to teach you 10 tips. And while, yeah, you are speaking very clearly and you're being authoritative and those are good things, you're not being a person, you're not being yourself, you're being like a grandiose version of yourself, and people connect to people that can actually be themselves, which is why on my channel, I pride myself on breaking decorum in my videos. From a lot of other YouTube people, you might expect a camera review very stock standard, but I compare 360 cameras to sex toys. I use silly Snapchat filters in my videos. I do all kinds of weird stuff. Those are the things that are authentic to me and help communicate my personality, and it means I can relax and just be myself and not have to focus on being a presenter. This is probably the biggest lesson I've learned from YouTube and observing some of the most successful YouTubers is authenticity wins. The people that can be themselves on camera the best, and hopefully they have a personality that isn't too controversial or too polarizing. If you can be yourself, that's when people connect to you quickly, and that's how you grow your audience quickly. 9. So something I think is really important to have in your videos is some kind of call to action where once you've given value, you push people to one other thing that might interest them or something that is of benefit to you. No question, that's something you've got to do if you want to create a sustainable YouTube channel. But a mistake you want to avoid is having these things too early in your first or second ever YouTube video. You don't want to be hard selling your audience on something or telling them to do this, that, and the other. When you begin on YouTube, it's important that you prove yourself as a creator, as an expert, someone that knows what they're doing, what they're talking about. Whatever your channel specifically is about, you need to prove yourself in, I would say, at least 5 videos. 5 before people start trusting you enough to follow your call to actions. A lot of you guys know I have my own video course about 360 video and another one about personal branding. If I were to start again and start a brand new channel and I start talking about these 2 things in my first, second, and third videos, people are going to know me as the salesman, the dude that is here to make sales and nothing else. Yes, the end goal might be to sell things, but this is the wrong way of going about it. You need to give value unconditionally first. This is something that Gary Vee says. It's jab, 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 right hook, which means give, then you can ask, but you need to do the giving first. Once you've given insane amounts of value, that's when people will genuinely be open to buying from you because they're already bought in, you've already given them enough that they feel like they owe you. And of course, push them to good things that will give them even more value. You never want to mislead your audience because then they'll completely lose trust in you. Tip number 10 is don't say Oh my God, I made this mistake for way too long. I didn't even realize I was saying it. I didn't even realize. It took me having to watch back a tape of me giving one of my first ever workshops in LA in 2017. It was 2 hours of me on stage teaching 360 video, and I recall it as the perfect speech. Oh, I was so eloquent, I was so good. And when I watched it back, I was like, hey guys, today we're going to learn about 360 video and the amazing things that you can, and I was like, are you serious? No, I didn't say it that much. I didn't. This tape is lying. It's lying. Burn it, burn it. And then once I calmed down, I realized this is something I gotta work on. We use and to fill in silences, almost as if having them there is better than having a silence, but actually it's not. It makes you sound like a bumbling idiot. And I can definitely speak from experience here. Can you imagine the Martin Luther King speech if it went, I have a dream that one day, I think it's safe to say it would not be known as the I have a dream speech. For me to get rid of this, I just had to see myself on camera and feel the embarrassment of sounding like a bumbling idiot. And look, I didn't sound like a complete bumbling idiot, but I really exaggerated it. So I felt so bad about saying that it forced me to find a way to never say again. So every time I make a video, including this one here, in the back of my mind, I constantly am saying to myself, don't say don't say don't you dare say I will find you and I will get you if you say And weirdly enough, somehow it works. And now I'm becoming a more confident speaker. And most importantly, I'm becoming comfortable with silences. You've got to become comfortable with silences because silences are better than saying So that's it for the video. I know it was something a bit different, but I know so many of you guys are video creators yourselves and you're just starting on YouTube. So hopefully you found value in these things because they're things I just wish I knew before I made my very first YouTube video. It would have actually helped my channel grow faster overall if I wasn't making these same mistakes video after video after video. Even some of them, I was still making 150 videos into my YouTube channel. So yeah, let me know if you liked it. If you did, maybe I'll make more of these. As I mentioned before, I have a video course about personal branding that teaches all of my best tips and tricks for growing an effective personal brand across YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can get it at a special discounted price alongside my 360 video course. I'll put a link to that down there. And now it's time for me to disappear. Nah, actually, I'm just gonna sit here in silence until the end of the video. Do 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 do. Boom, 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 boom.